Okay, thank you. So I'll be taking the second session for Flutter Festival. Um, so in the first session, I had covered introduction to Flutter and Dart, and I had given an assignment in which I asked you to set up Flutter on Android Studio on your laptops, computers. But I would be personally using Android Studio for this session, but it is not the only option. You can use the same website we used in the first session to code in Dart. It would work over there as well, and I have tested it myself. Um, the website link was mentioned in the WhatsApp group. It is called dartpad.dev. You can open it up, but before that, I would have to explain to you some concepts through this presentation. So in so before we start building apps, we need to understand stateful and stateless widgets. So we explored widgets in the last session. Excuse me, I have to open the door right now. I'll come in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the disturbance. Okay, so in the previous session, we had explored what is a widget. Widget is a UI component basically. So it can be simple like text or some like text basically, or it can be really complex like your whole app is basically a widget. In Flutter, um, basically everything, it is said that almost everything is a widget. So let's take a look at so basically what is state, and we will also see what is stateful and stateless. So state can be state of any object, may refer to its properties or features at an instant. Okay, so at an instant of time you can say whatever the object was, the state of the object was, maybe it is a person, he was running at that moment. So that can be said as a property of that person, or anything like he was wearing some green T-shirt or something. Um, so that is also a property at that moment of time. Similarly, in widgets have properties in Flutter, and state means the values of those properties at an instant, basically. So, for example, I had mentioned like there are various color properties. You can give background color or text color, text size, font weight, which is basically the bold, how bold the font should be, font style, italics or other font styles are available. So these are all properties. So there are two types of widgets, stateful and stateless in Flutter. So basically, stateful widgets allow the value of their properties to be changed, whereas stateless widgets have fixed values of their properties. So if in application you want to change the properties of some widgets, suppose you want to change, you are taking input from the user and it is changing some values like changing some text, you are displaying something, so then your app would become more dynamic, and then you would have to use a stateless widget stateful widget, which allows its properties to be changed in your application. Whereas if you are making an app which is just displaying something static, it is not changing with time, it's not taking like input, it is maybe just a simple app, or like a birthday card. For those who attended Android study jams, they made a birthday card app in that. We can assume that as a stateless app. It doesn't take input. It will just show you happy birthday and the name of the person. So there is another important concept called hot reload in Flutter. It is talked about in many YouTube videos and by those who are experienced in Flutter development. And it is it is talked as a really important thing which boosts the application runtime by a significant amount. So what is it basically? So for developers, running and rerunning their code of an app might take a long time because there are so many files it has to compile. And Flutter is basically a tool which is building apps for uh, multiple different platforms like Android, iOS, and it has to compile its Dart code into a suitable, readable form for that particular system. So it has additional steps than suppose Android development. It because it has some additional steps to support that ability to uh, write single, have a single code base for cross platforms. So like as compared to Android, basic native Android or native iOS development, it will take much more time. Uh, what the people who develop Flutter have come up with to they have come up with hot reload, which basically only updates the code of the widget whose code was updated while while testing it. So only that widget needs to be compiled again, not the whole code. So suppose you are running an app, you make change somewhere in your app. So wherever in which widget it was, only that needs to be compiled, and that is significantly smaller compared to your whole application, which allows developers to see the changes in a fraction of a second compared to waiting minutes. So that's just a difference. And hot reload takes so less time that they made it automatic. So as soon as you change your code and save it in your Android Studio, it would update the app via hot reload. Let's take a quick look at Android Studio and the default app, Flutter app in it. So I would be switching to Android Studio. So currently you can see I've open a file. This is an app I was working on. But suppose you are on this window, you want to create a new Flutter application. I can go into File, New and New Flutter project. This will show me this window. Some people were posting pictures of this on the WhatsApp group. So if you're not familiar with this, whenever you create a new Flutter project, you have to uh, if the first time you create a new Flutter project, you would be asked to enter the SDK path, which SDK you must have downloaded off the website. So here it is already present because I had previously inputted it. So I just need to do next. And my new project, in this case, The first app example I will show you is a BMI calculator. The reason I chose this is because this is a really simple app for beginners to understand. And I would reuse the same code to build my second app, BMI. I'll just name it BMI because I have my previous project saved as BMI calculator, and those who want to code beside me, you can create a similar project right now. Others, you get ready with Dartpad on your screen, because I would start showing you code and um, start programming a bit later. So the other option is the location, and you can keep the rest as it is and just click finish. Uh, so creating Flutter project, it will take okay. So I would open it in this window and close the previous one. So now they are showing me this page with a README file. It tells me a Flutter project. This project is starting point of Flutter application, and it is giving me some additional documentation and links for me to get started. But what I'm getting on the left side is this window. Okay, so this window basically currently is set to Android. I don't want it to be on Android. I wanted to display the complete project. The complete project has different folders for Android, iOS. You can see that here, iOS, Android. So I want to view the whole project because I'm interested in this lib folder, blue color folder, because inside this is my Dart file. So those who are on Android Studio, try to open this main.dart file right now. I can't see you right now, so I would do tell me I'm viewing the chats if you're having any issue. I would try to solve it given the time constraints. So so I'll wait for 1 minute for you guys to just open Android Studio new project, or those guys who don't have it set up, just go to Google, say Dartpad, and dartpad.dev should come up, and you would basically do all your coding on the left side. Okay, so don't worry. Uh, I guess I can continue. So in the main.dart file, there is this code already. This code is of the default Flutter app, which is provided when you just start a new project. It is basically helpful to test if you have successfully installed Flutter. So and how I will test it is, first I have to select a device. So currently I have some options like my browser windows will also work, or I have this Android virtual device on which I can run it. I will first show it on a browser window so you guys can do it as well. So then I press this green button. This is basically the run button. It will run the main.dart file, all this code, and it would open out my browser with the default app. It just needs some time to compile everything. Okay, so the browser is up. It should render the UI soon. Okay, so those who don't know what this is the default Flutter app open in my browser. and it is basically a counter app. So when you press this button, it says increment when I hover, and when I click on it, the count will increase. So now I know this is running, so my Flutter installation is done, and it was successfully done. So those who have not who don't, if this is not coming up, that means the Flutter installation is not completed. Or but I also have this option for an Android virtual device, and it is basically a phone inside my computer. This is a Google Pixel 2 model which is provided in Android Studio. I just have to install the emulator. So I can run this code on this Android virtual device. You can see this currently is my previous app being displayed. It is called Virtual Dice. This is the second app we will be making today. Give it some time and it will just open up the default Flutter app, the counter one that I just showed you. Oh my god, it is opening up in the browser. Oh, maybe I forgot to select it. Okay, so it's called. It's also called SDK G Phone in my case. Hopefully, it should. Yeah, it should now be visible on my phone. So it takes a little time. Till then, just let's just see this code. Um, so basically, okay, started successfully. You can see it is rendering it, syncing files. Now the Flutter app is visible on this virtual phone, and if I press this button, it will increment the counter. I also get this the sound and the click animation for pressing the button. Um, so that is it. I can close it right now. If I press this X, this virtual device will go. So before we start, we need to analyze this default code, because uh, our code, it has a lot of boilerplate which we have to code. And so like this import statement, in the first session we imported material dart package to make a UI, if you remember. So this is a compulsory package to import. So void main, we use void main in the previous session because the main function is called when you run your program. And in this case, it is running the app which is in this widget called my app. So okay, so this my app is a class which is extending the stateless widget class. Okay, and as I told you, stateless widgets do not change, but there was a button and it was incrementing some counter. So there must be some stateful widget as well, I guess. So there is this override. Um, you have to have this in the boilerplate. Then there is a build widget, and the build widget basically builds your app. Inside it is the material app which we used, and we go down. There is this my home property inside the material app. The title will give you the title of the app, and this home property is returning another uh, widget. Widgets are classes basically. So, with the title Flutter demo home page. So, and this home page is extending a stateful widget. That means it would be dynamic. Don't worry about the code if it looks confusing. There are some shortcuts which automatically write this boilerplate code for you, so that we will be using them. So in this case, this home um, home widget or home class has is now what it's doing is basically there is another class which is extending this previous home page, and in this we have written our app. You can see increment counter. There's a function called increment counter. There's a build widget. You always have to put override before the build widget, and it is returning the whole app. So we looked at scaffold earlier, app bar, text, center. We are familiar with basically this part. The rest part is the boilerplate, like the header files in C++, like bits C, standard C++, or st stdlib or stdio. In Python, you can think of it as the math library, something you import. In Python, we don't have much boilerplate, and so those who know C++ or Java, they have to code certain statements again and again in that. So that is the case here as well. So basically, so we looked at this app, and don't worry if you don't understand it right now, because we'll be building our app from scratch. And so let me just go to the app we will be building. So the first app is a simple BMI calculator. It will take your height and weight as input, and it will calculate the body mass index, and it will tell you if you're underweight, normal, or overweight. The reason why I chose this was because it is really simple and beginner friendly, and it won't give you much problems. So, and the additional thing, I would be using the same UI to build my second app, which I would show you, is Virtual Dice app. These two apps will have the same UI, but the functionality will be different. Okay then. So guys, get ready to code. Once you're ready, just raise your hand to let me know. Okay, so let me see how many people are ready. Okay, so a lot of you are ready. So I'll start in a minute. Those who are not ready, you can either open up a new Flutter project in Android Studio called BMI Calculator, or you can just open up Dartpad website and start coding from there. Okay, so this is my project in which I will code. I will only use this main.dart file. I only need to write code in this file. And rest of the other files, uh, for today's session, I won't be touching it at all. So that is why it is whatever code I will write here can be run on Dartpad as well. So okay. So first thing I will do is I would remove all this boilerplate code after the void main. So guys who are using Android Studio, you need to select all this code and just after the void main, and we'll just delete it. So all this code is gone, and you are left with a much more simple view. Okay, so give me a few minutes to just set up. Uh, okay, so I'm ready. So those who are on Dartpad, I would request you, because you don't have autocomplete on Dartpad, you just go and write import the package, or I can just give this code. I copy paste this code into the comment box so you can just copy it. Just copy paste this code in your Dartpad. If it is empty, copy paste should have this code. It has an error, but don't worry, that error will go away. So, okay, so to start, first we will build a stateless widget. Okay, so there is a shortcut in Android Studio. So those who are using Android Studio, to set up the boilerplate for a stateless widget, you just do STLESS and enter, and it will automatically provide you this code. And don't type anything right now, because if you type something now, that is basically taken as input of the name of the stateless widget. So in this case, the name I would give it would be my app. But then I press enter. And what I want my app to return is, I want my app to return a material app widget. So those those of you who are coding alongside me, keep me updated on where you are currently. Those who are on Dartpad, I would be giving you the code. So because you don't have this autocomplete short forms, you can't in Dartpad. If you write STLess, it won't automatically generate this code. So I'll be constantly sharing the code in this comment box so you can check it. What to write in Android Studio? So I have opened Android Studio. Uh, First, you deleted all the code after import and void main. Okay. Then you write STLESS. Just write STLESS and enter. After you enter right away, you would create the boilerplate for this, and then you name it my app. Right after you enter, you call it capital MY, capital APP, and we change this return to material app. I have posted the code here. Then if you want, you can copy paste the my app from here as well. Okay, so I'll be going on to the next step. So my app would also require a stateful widget, and there is a shortcut for that as well. It's called STFUL. So this will generate a stateful widget for me. So the guys, I would be sharing this code for those people using the Artpad. So you can generate a stateful widget. Oh, I forgot to name it. One second, let me name it. So this stateful widget, in my case, would be called home screen. It will be called home screen. So that's center and it is returning. So I want home screen to return. Um, Basically, I would return a scaffold. Scaffold. Scaffold widgets, we looked at it in the previous session. I would share this code once again with all the names. Um, Let me just write it right. So now you can distinguish it from the previous code. Do tell me once you have copy pasted you are ready. I would be going further. Raise your hands if you're like if you're done with this much. Okay, one and two. See how many people. So four people. Um, Anyone else? I don't see anyone else. Okay then. You can take your time. Ask me if you have any issues. So four people would be on track with me, I hope. So okay, we got two more hands. Okay, nice. So we have a stateless and stateful widget. So what I will do is, oh, someone wants to join. Okay, so Anubhav Chakraborty, you have joined right now.
Yes,
What?
yes.
Yeah. So basically, I have started the
I was
program.
in the meeting. I am joining through my PC actually. I was joining through tab till now. I am joining through PC.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood. One second, everyone. I just need to set up something. So okay, so the material app I would be returning the stateless one, the stateless part. So I'm returning this material app, and if you remember, what does a material have app have? It has two properties we discussed last session. Title. So in this case, what do I want to name it? I want to call it BMI calculate.
Where can you once again copy this code and paste it in the message box?
Yes, I will do it. The whole thing. You want me to copy from the start?
Yes,
Okay, okay. So it will take some time. Other people, just write this title till I just copy paste this code. Um, and I think this is here. Okay, then, and this is the stateful part. So hopefully you have received all the code. Just copy paste these, um, and you should be ready to go. So the change I made just now, so that there should not be a semicolon, sorry, there will be a comma after title because these are properties. So title, I have given BMI calculator, and the other thing it has the body uh, in the material app. Body or home, we call it home, sorry. So home, what do I want to return? In home, I want to return the home screen. Home screen is the stateful widget which I made below. If you don't see it, this is it. Okay. And I would add some more properties like there is this debug show checker banner. This is completely optional. Whenever I run the app, there comes this red color strip on the top right which says debug. So if I don't want to see that, I don't want it to display, I just put this property, and I want there to be a theme to the app. There's this theme property as well. I call it primary primary swatch. The spelling, I can make an error here. Color. So colors dot yellow. Okay, I've already made an error. Theme is theme as a widget. Theme data. I forgot to put theme data. And inside theme data, there is this primary swatch property. There is this visual density property. This is just going to add the theme to my app. This is optional. You don't need this, I guess. But visual density dot adaptive platform density. In Android Studio, I get autocorrect options. But in Dartpad, I know that autocorrect is not available, so I would be copy pasting the code for the whole stateless widget again. Those who are those you can reuse this code in your program. I have put a margin so the complete code has been shared. So you can switch your stateless widget with this code. It has all the default theme, the all the properties, and we are basically done with the stateless widget right now. We'll be moving on to the next part in a moment. I'll just wait for a minute for you guys to copy paste and make sure there are no errors. I will show it. I will show my stateful widget code so that you can verify your code at the same time. So there are some things which are optional, like this const my app. We don't need this. You can just remove it. Okay. And this above thing, we don't need const over here. Just my app. The void main remove the const, and in this class is my app. There is some const. For single statement, you can remove it like this. You can remove this. We don't need it. So now we would move on to this last class. Basically everything. So above this part, everything is set up. Now we have to code our home screen state widget only. So we are in the scaffold. Now we remember the scaffold widget from the previous session. In this we built our UI basically. This is the part we are familiar with basically. Okay. So the first thing, what is in a scaffold? You can um, give me a minute, okay? There is an app bar. Yeah, thank you, app bar. Forgot. app bar. So in the app bar, we have a title. I press enter. Want to make enter the title property. So in Android Studio, I have the advantage of autocomplete. This is very useful. Calculator. Okay, so I need to enclose this in a text widget. So that's the title done. Then apart from the title, there's also a body property. Okay, so body. First, we'll make some editorial changes to the title. Maybe I should display my output side by side. Let me just open up this Android emulator. Um, yeah, sorry, it would. This is my Android emulator. I'll just position it on this side of the screen and just run this app so that I can see what is my current UI state, and I would make changes side by side. You guys can visually see the changes then. Okay, just wait for some time. You guys can also run your emulators on your browser. You can put it on the side for now. I know you would be watching the screen, me sharing my screen, so you don't have much space on your this. So, but it's fine. Okay. So this is the current app. This is how it looks like right now. We would be making some design changes to the title part of it. Okay. So what can we put in the title here? Let me just see. In the app bar, sorry. So text. So in the text, we can center title. Yes, we can center the title. Definitely. Center title to. If I save this, you can see title got centered. We can also style this text. So we can add something called. After this, we put comma and we do style. So style, text, style widget, and inside the text style widget, there are color properties and colors dot. Give any color you want. I'll give yellow. There's also font weight, font size. I give this some font weight of W300, comma. Let's see how it looks. Mm, It's taking some time. Okay, so I have made the background color yellow and the text color yellow, so it is camouflage. Sorry. So I want the background color to be transparent. So okay, so this is text. Outside the text part, we'll go into background color, and this is colors dot transparent. So when I save, now you can see the BMI calculator text. It was just yellow, and that's why it was not visible. There's also this elevation. Now you can see there's some shadowing effect on this app bar. If you want to remove this shadowing effect and you want to make it so that it's flush with the background, you can use this elevation property and set it to 0. So now you can see, now the title is flush with the background The app bar is not raised above the body. So this is the changes I wanted to make. Yeah, center title we did already. So after this app bar is over, now comes the body. Mm. So there is the background color. First, the currently the title is barely visible. Background color, I would set it to gray. Don't worry if you are not able to follow. I will share the code right now. After this, I'll copy paste it. So from where I will copy paste it from return scaffold. So return scaffold to background color. So you guys can now you can see this is much more visible. The title, the app bar is not raised anymore. Text is centered. All that design thing we did. If you're up to date, just raise your hand. If you've just written all this code. So let me see how many people have raised. Three, lower. Okay, four people, five people. Okay, nice. So five people are here. You can lower your hands. I'll continue. Okay, so background color was another property of scaffold. Is body. Um, so in body, instead I would return something as a widget called single child scroll view. This is a new widget. Um, just I actually don't really know what exactly it does, so, but I'll look it up and share it on WhatsApp next time because I just forgot what exactly the function was. So in the child, we'll return a column widget. If you don't know what a column widget is, basically imagine your app. So there's this emptiness. If you want to divide this emptiness into columns, you just use a column widget. There's also a row widget which will create rows. Inside the column widgets, you can put other widgets like text, buttons, etc. And they will be in columns. So, and those other widgets would be inside this list of children widgets. So, so that's the column widget. So right now I need to explain what I'm trying to do because you guys might get confused. I have the title ready. I have to take two inputs from the user. I had mentioned we are making a BMI calculator and we require the height and the weight. So what I plan to do is uh, I would create columns, two columns. On the left side, I would say I would take weight. The right side, I would have a text input for height or something, or maybe height and weight. I would have two text inputs side by side, basically two columns. And how will I take the input? First, I need to make a box, a sized box. Size box, height 20, and there is a row widget. So I need to have some row widgets as well. So I'll tell you the function of this later. Now we just see. Okay, in axis alignment, space only, and Inside the row widget, there are containers. So hopefully I should copy paste some of this code soon. I'll probably make the size box and the structure, give it to you guys, that you don't have problem. Right, empty. This row. Okay, maybe I should just code one thing and it would be much more clear side by side, because then you can see in the UI. Children, I'll have another children widget. So this column and row have this list of children as their uh, in the, otherwise you see there's a child property, but column and row will have a list, children property. So you can put multiple widgets. In this case, I would use a container, capital C, container widget, comma afterwards. The width of the container, I want to set it to something like 130. Child, don't worry if it's getting a bit confusing. Just keep copying the code I'm writing. I will also try to copy paste it and give it to you later. But what I want to do right now is I want to write enough so that you can see some UI changes, because these are just structural things that I'm doing. Controller you might not know. We leave controller for right now. So style. Style is visible. It's text style. Font size. Say 42. We want font weight. Font weight. W300. Color colon colors yellow comma. So we just refresh. We don't have any text yet. Let's write some pure decoration hint color. Okay, so text field. We need to enter after text style. Keyboard type text input type. So we only want numbers to be inputted. So we use this keyboard type property of the text field. What we are creating is a text field. You don't know what a text field is. It's basically like a text box input you take from the user. So they can use their keyboards to enter numbers or alphabets on the keyboard. But we are restricting it to number. Decoration, input, decorations. We are just designing it a bit by adding some border, input border, but none, comma, hint text, HIGHT, height. Now it would be visible because I've added a hint text, a hint style, text style. So text style widget basically it is used to add style to the text, like font size 42, suppose. Font weight w, no, font weight widget dot w, and you can see all these options are 100 to 900. That is the range you can go. Color, colors, height, but with opacity. I want some transparency, so I would say 0.8 opacity. So now you can see height is being displayed. We didn't have a lot. We coded this much um, to get this text input. Can enter any number in this now, and it will be saved. Okay, that's why it took some time. Mostly, we also spent some time in styling, like the font size and everything. And now at least you can see what I was trying to do. I should probably share this right now, but there are so many brackets. I'll just share the container. From the container, oh, okay, so where should I share it from? Someone can suggest, or I'll share the whole row. Okay, let's see if the whole row will fit in the chat box. Hopefully it will. Oh, I think it got cropped. That is not good. So it got cropped around decoration. So guys, I'll have to use WhatsApp because Google Meet does not allow this like big chunks of comments. It will cut it at certain after a certain point. So I'll just paste it in WhatsApp. Hopefully you can copy it from WhatsApp. Otherwise, I would try to see which smaller piece of code I can share on Google. So inside the container, I will share this child. Okay, I'll share the child part of the container. That is also being cropped. What do I do? I would I would share the whole row but in parts. Okay, don't worry. Share the whole row. Those guys who are programming in Dart pad, you guys don't have autocomplete and stuff. So you can just copy paste this whole row. Verif verify it with what I have written. Hopefully it has merged. Raise your hands if you're done. I will wait for 1 minute for those to copy paste. If you have any issue, please unmute and tell me because we will be writing code like this, and if you're like stuck somewhere, if there's errors, we can, I can give, I can help, but I have time constraints. So one person is done. I would like to have two, three at least. Do update me if you're ready with the code. I will. I'm currently displaying the row part. You can verify all this. So I'll wait for 1 minute. I think you would like to see the part above as well. And I should minimize this. This background color gray, all this thing. Can you send from child column? Sure, I'll share it from child column. Oh, we need to check how much it will fit. Wait, I will. Is WhatsApp fine with you? So let me just share it on WhatsApp then, because Google Meet will crop everything. So this is WhatsApp. This whole child column I have shared on WhatsApp, and let me verify. Uh, yeah, there are a lot of brackets here. 1, 2, 3 plus 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, the whole thing is being shared. Do let me know once you're done. Ananya Pul, Purkait. Other people, raise your hands once you're done. After this session, would you be able to share? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't worry, I have uploaded the code to GitHub also. You can you can copy paste it from GitHub. Right now, the motivation is to code side by side. Get used to coding. Get used to get a feel of all the properties. I know it might be hard writing this much code, um, but this is how you would learn basically to make apps. It is not that easy. Just follow tutorials, get a feel of things, and long time. There was someone who was waiting. I've done, completed it. So basically, what I've completed this row widget part. If you want me, I'll put a space after this. And now after the row widget, basically, I want another size box or maybe a container. Okay then. So what I'll do is I'll copy this full container part, not the row widget. I will, this cursor is from here. You can see I'm making some space. So I want to copy this complete container. I paste it right after here, right after the container ends. Okay. So now if I save it, you can see there is height and height. But I don't want two heights. I want weight. So what will I do? I will change this text to WIGHT. Now I got one input for height and one input for weight. Basically, our input part is almost completed. There is one thing we need to add, and that is a controller. Basically, we are giving input, but we need to store it in some variable also, right? Because we would use the number to do some calculation. So that's where a controller will come. And where would I write this controller? I would write it in the text field. Inside the text field, there's a controller property. And I would give it something, a name called height, GHT controller. This is a name you are giving. You can give any name. Okay, then what is the error? Create class height controller. I have to define height controller before. So let's go up, guys. Let's go up to the part before override, because we would define some variables belonging to the controller class editing controller underscore height controller um, text editing controller. um, that is it. Wait, I need to copy this because I will I have another one for weight controller. Upload EIGST. For now we have this. I would also need two more variables underscore BMI result, and I have to initialize them. String text result should be 0, not 0. I'm making these four variables right after the underscore home screen state, not CGC WhatsApp group. Okay, you can't see it because I've shared it in Flutter Festival. You are on GDSC, right? Want me to share it there? Let me do it. You should join this Flutter Festival. GDSC. Is this the group? I'm not sure, but let, let me see. I think this is it. DSC. This is the core team. This is GDSC. If you can't see it, it is here. This is it. The Flutter group. I think you are talking about the Flutter group only. Okay, so guys who are coding side by side, as this error still. No, I mentioned it. Oh, I have spelling mistake. Height control. Now you can see there is no error. Now my numbers will be stored in this. Basically, what I've done is now the numbers I enter here like 53. Why is it not? Achha, I'm not. So any number I take will be stored in this height controller variable now. So uh, that is the thing I just did. So I just need to copy this into the container text field controllers, and we call this weight controller. Not again. So we're done with this. Done with all this whole container. These two containers. We are done with it. Now we'll move on to displaying and a button. We need a button to say calculate, on which we'll press after we give our inputs, and it will do the calculation and share us the result. And we'll also need uh, a display, a place to display text. Okay, so guys who are up to date, please raise your hands. There was one person who was up to date. Is there anyone else? Raise your hands if possible. I know, okay. If you want some piece of code, mention it in the chat. I would share it on WhatsApp. Because Google Meet would be little difficult. Okay, two people. Guys, you can mention if you want any piece of code in the chat. I'll wait for a few seconds. Okay, I think uh, I think I should continue then. The don't feel like um, I I have the code. If you want me after writing the whole code, I will share it on WhatsApp. We'll reuse it for the second app. and we'll make only so small changes in that, and you'll see that would be much more convenient. So do stick till the end if possible, because we are making two apps. Second one will be just minor tweaking this code of the first app. So if you're not following, or you don't worry, there is a possibility for comeback. So let's see. We finished the container. Now we just conclude this row widget, and right after the row widget, where for controller it is showing undefined. Oh, let me see. Just take a look at this code. कुछ इशू है तो बताओ. मैंने शेयर भी किया है. Yeah, but it is not giving you error, right? There is no red color lines, right, in the container part. Sorry. Uh, there is the container part. So hide controller. It's not highlighting it, I guess, in purple. Right. So तुम क्या करो? Do backspace जो भी नाम है underscore HEI, और जब तुम डिटेक्ट करते हो वो in this, you just press enter. Whenever it is detected in that auto completion thing, you press enter and it is detected, so it should be um, recognized right now. Do message if it's happening. Okay, message once you're done. It is not there. नहीं है. तुमने इधर डिफाइन किया क्या क्लास? क्लास के राइट नीचे ये चार लाइन मैंने अभी लिखे हैं. You must have not defined these. Let me just copy paste them. ये लो, ये तुम कॉपी पेस्ट कर दो right above the @ override in this underscore home screen state. Okay. Once you do that, देखना कि वो update हो. Okay, done. Nice, done. So let's continue. Where was I? We are done with the row widget. थोड़ा space देते हैं. It's a lot of code. Now we'll do a size box. What is a size box? Size box is basically some space, some separation. So how much separation I want to give in the column? I want 30 pixels. Something. Basically, what we are doing, you'll get a better idea. We are in a column. Um, so these columns have these spaces, like after certain height, we start the row. Row will have the containers for height and container for width, which are taking input. Then we give another separation of size box. Do put comma after this. Then we do something, another container. Uh, do I call it container? I call it. We use a gesture detector widget right now. ये थोड़ा नया है. But basically, it will detect when I tap that container or something. Okay, that is the difference. So gesture on pressed, on tap, on tap. I'll make a function for now. I would अभी इसका कोड नहीं लिखते. अभी Okay, I think I'll just go on uh, after the gesture detector. Gesture detector is cool. Reset shape. Sorry. Inside, I need a child widget container. Inside the gesture detector, there will be a container, and it will have a child text. Text will have the text. Calculate. Okay, let me just show my phone there. Now you can see there's some calculate over here. Okay, so when I tap this calculate, I want it to give me the BMI by we have given the input, suppose some number we are given. Now I press calculate and then it will display me the BMI and everything. Container, calculate, we'll add some text style. So text style always goes inside the text widget. So text style, style property, text style, font size, weight, etc. Font weight, font weight, bold, color, colors, yellow. Let's see. Now you can see it is yellow color. You can see this right now. थोड़ा yellow ज़्यादा हो रहा है, but we can change color afterwards. ठीक है, तो I would share this code अभी अभी देखते हैं कि फिट होता है या नहीं. Just create a separator in Google Meet. Just barely fitting. I'll share the size box and gesture detector code. WhatsApp पे भी डाल देते हैं. Add a separator before adding it. So guys, जब हो जाएंगे, raise your hands. I will continue. I'll put a size box after this gesture detector as well. जैसे ही खत्म हो गया. With more height difference. 50. Raise your hands once you're done. ताकि मुझे आइडिया लगे कि कौन फॉलो कर रहा है अभी भी. ओके, आदर्श इज फॉलोइंग. नाइस. अदर पीपल कॉपी पेस्ट में कुछ चाहिए, डू टेल मी राइट नाउ. अभी दे दूंगा मैं फिर, इफ पॉसिबल. इफ यू हैव एनी इश्यूज यू कैन राइट इट इन द चैट. अनम्यूट भी कर सकते हो एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. I will wait for a couple of seconds. तब तक गाइस तुम ये कोड व्यू करके चेक करते रहो. इफ यू आर recording side by side, just verify if this is matching with what you have written. Okay, so I guess I should continue. Maybe ये काफी heavy हो गया आज के लिए, but I would try to do something more better next time. Problem is assignments. There are a lot of assignments, so उतना time नहीं मिला prep के लिए. But don't worry, I would share the code as well to those. Uh, I shared the GitHub link, so तुम code check कर लेना. So I should probably explain what is visibility. So basically, I'll go over the whole code again just so that the whole scenario is clear. So we have the title app bar BMI calculator and app bar ends here. This is the background color. Now the body, inside the body, there are columns, okay? So there are two columns for height. There is one for height. There is this one for weight. So inside this column, there are children. So there's a size box which gives me 20 pixel space from the title. There's this row. Row will have the uh, row has basically two containers. So एक रो में एक ही रो में दो विजेट है तो मेरे को वो रो में डालने पड़े. Those two containers are just height and weight का inputs. Okay. Oh, that's why. Then उसी कॉलम में हम लोग हम लोग ने स्पेस दिया हाइट वाइज. Then we added this calculate gesture detector. Basically, when we tap this, we we would trigger something. That is it. We have given space again, and we are adding another display. We are now adding the display part. So when we are done calculating, we need to display the number. So we will display it in this visibility thing. Okay. So visibility, a child will be a container widget. Container widget. The container will have a text widget. So whenever uh, so basically the should be small and should not have brackets. So colon. So if you want to put widgets inside widgets, you use child property. That's it. So अभी ये text है. So we have declared some text widget or text result variable बहुत पहले. तो वही डिस्प्ले कर देंगे. I think someone is ringing the doorbell. Style, text style, font size. Font size 32. Font weight. Font weight. Many people have left. तो डू टेल मी अगर कुछ कोड चाहिए मैं दे दूंगा. सो अगर तुम लीव कर रहे हो तो मतलब हाँ मतलब सब लोग लीव कर देंगे तो पढ़ाने के लिए कुछ होगा ही नहीं. इसलिए अगर कोई भी इशू है बता दो. मैं ट्राई करूंगा माय बेस्ट टू सॉल्व. वी आर देयर. नाइस. थैंक यू. तो आई विल बी शेयरिंग ये विजिबिलिटी. तो ठीक है. सो वी आर डन विद द विजिबिलिटी विजेट. मैं शेयर करता हूँ इसका सब कोड अभी. तो ये रहा और मैं व्हाट्सएप पे भी डालता हूँ. अगर कोई व्हाट्सएप पे देख रहा होगा उसको भी कोड मिलना चाहिए। फिर you को सो ये कॉपी पेस्ट हो जाए, रेज योर हैंड्स। सो आदर्श इज यूजुअली फॉलोइंग, मैं उसका वेट करता हूँ। नाइस, आदर्श इज डन। ओके देन, सो गुड न्यूज़, कोड हो गया। बट अभी भी बाकी है, मैं रन नहीं किया ना। देखते क्या अपडेट आता है। ओह, पहले तो टेक्स्ट में कुछ नहीं है ना, मैं अभी दिखाता हूँ, कुछ चेंज दिखेगा। टेस्ट टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट में कुछ भी डाल देते हैं और अभी दिखना चाहिए। वो भी नहीं दिख रहा कि विजिबिलिटी नहीं है। अच्छा, ओके, सो मैं कैलकुलेट प्रेस करूँ। सो अभी, सो बेसिकली क्या किया, विजिबिलिटी इज अ विजेट which will only be visible when the text result is not empty, and I think कुछ इशू हो गया यहाँ पे, रन भी ये हो गया। मैंने अपडेट किया था टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट इसलिए, होपिंग कि ये दिस इज नाउ नॉट एम्प्टी, so now the result would be clear। सो रन में हॉट रीलोड करके देखते हैं, रीस्टार्ट। ओके, अभी आया। आई हैड टू डू हॉट रीलोड, पता नहीं क्यों अपडेट नहीं हो रहा था। Those guys who have same problem, go to this run, do hot reload, and now you can see when uh, the string is not null, uh, and it is visible. So in case it is null, अभी गायब हो जाता है। तो इनिशियली null है, जब वैल्यूज इनपुट होगी। सॉरी, राइट। हाँ, so now what are we missing right now? We are just missing one thing. That is the function on tap। ये on tap जब लिख देंगे to calculate our BMI, then we can update this text result और फिर अपना ऐप हो जाएगा complete। Just this final thing is left। Okay, then थोड़ा कुछ गलती हो गई है। Give me 2 minutes, I need to open something। Okay, what was I using right now? Okay, then I think ये कोड खुद देखना पड़ेगा। इधर है BMI calculator। So what was left was um, so you can see gesture detector on tap। तो मेरे को क्या करना है, मेरे को पार्स क्या करता है, इट विल टेक दिस हाइट कंट्रोलर की वैल्यू, एक डबल में स्टोर कर देगा, ऐसे वेट में स्टोर कर देगा। ये सेट स्टेट क्या करता है, इट वुड जो स्टेट जब चेंज होती है ना वेरिएबल्स की, और अगर हम लोग को डिस्प्ले में भी चेंज करना है देन वी हैव टू डू हॉट रीलोड, और ऐसे वो ऑटोमेटिकली नहीं होता अपडेट इन केस ऑफ फ्लटर. So when we need to perform a hot reload, we use this set state uh, function. तो इसके अंदर जो भी वेरिएबल अपडेट होगा, और फिर वो रिफ्रेश कर देगा पूरा प्रोग्राम ताकि द न्यू स्टेट वुड बी डिस्प्लेड. सो ये लिखना है अभी मुझे on tap. On tap is in this gesture detector. So double UUBLD underscore H double parse height controller dot text. This is just taking the text from the height controller variable because it's an object of some controller class. वो ऑब्जेक्ट्स में बहुत सारे वेरिएबल्स होते हैं, डेटा मेंबर्स. Weight controller dot text. Set state BMI result. BMI का कैलकुलेशन बताता हूँ. BMI का फॉर्मूला इज तुम्हारा वेट है डिवाइडेड बाय योर हाइट स्क्वायर. तो ऐसे हाइट का स्क्वायर मिल जाएगा, BMI मिल जाएगा. The thing is underscore BMI result. So if it's greater than 25, then the you will be overweight. मेरे को एक स्ट्रिंग लिखना है और the backslash your escape sequence for this single quote, or now they will recognize it as a another quote अंदर डाल रहे हैं. So we are escaping compiler, मतलब उसको skip करने के लिए बोल रहे हैं. So now ये if statement, else if BMI result, if this is greater than 18.5 and so BMI result less than equal to 25, then X result, X result your underweight से बोल देते हैं. Our app is done. It is completed. Let me just share this on tap function. फिर तुम लोग भी ऐप रन कर सकते हो. And then you can play with it. इतना ये कट हो रहा है क्या? Wait, नहीं, it is वो कट हो रहा है.
भैया व्हाट्सएप पे भी शेयर कर दो.
हाँ, इधर कट हो रहा है, मेरे को व्हाट्सएप भी करना पड़ जाएगा. व्हाट्सएप करता हूँ. व्हाट्सएप पे कर दिया है. इधर मैं थोड़ा स्पेस बचाने के लिए कुछ कर सकता हूँ क्या? हाँ, मतलब ऑन टैप को ब्रैकेट ऐसे लाओ, होगा क्या? होपफुली कुछ नहीं, so there is a character limit. Okay, अभी सही है. I'm barely touching the character limit. But this is the on tap function WhatsApp पे डाला है, Google Meet में शेयर किया है. जब हो जाए हैंड रेस कर दो, और हैंड रेस हो गया तो मतलब तुम्हारा ऐप तो हो ही गया है. मैं अभी डेमो ही दे देता हूँ. तो वेट जो हाइट है, यू हैव टू एंटर इट इन मीटर्स. ओके, पहले ये थोड़ा मैं ऐप सेव करके हॉट रीलोड करके आई मेक श्योर कि अपडेट हो गया है सब कोड. और मेरा हाइट मैं एंटर करता हूँ थ्रू दिस कीपैड. आई एम पहले सिलेक्ट करने दो. सो मीटर्स में आई एम 1 मीटर 97 और मेरा वेट है कुछ 91 किलोग्राम्स. मैं थोड़ा लंबा और थोड़ा मतलब वेट भी ज़्यादा है. तो मेरा BMI कितना होगा? अंडर वेट गलती हो गई. अंडर वेट तो नहीं होगा. लेट मी सी मिस्टेक किधर हुई है. माई BMI इज नॉट बीइंग डिस्प्लेड. ये टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट अपडेट नहीं हो रहा और मेरा अंडर वेट दिखा रहा है. ये एल सिर्फ में नॉर्मल नहीं है, ये नॉर्मल वेट होना चाहिए. और एल्स में अंडर वेट था. अभी मैं सोचूं. So I think I have to share the code again because code complete नहीं था. GitHub पे क्या है? Underweight, normal, overweight, etc. etc. And in set state ये है calculated BMI result. I'm not displaying BMI result. मैं text result display कर रहा हूँ सिर्फ. So what if I want to see my BMI result as well? एक बार इसको रन करके देख. योर नॉर्मल वेट. अच्छा, सो विजिबिलिटी, कंटेनर, टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट, साइड बॉक्स. अच्छा, ये कंटेनर भी है. तो एक मिस हो गया कंटेनर विजिबिलिटी के ऊपर. सो कैलकुलेट. So gesture detector, after it there is a child container and उसके नीचे size box and I just missed this container. इधर एक widget होगा container. Child text देगा BMI result dot string as text. तो क्या करेगा? Basically BMI result is a double. I want to only take it up to two. I need only two characters में से और up to 2 DP I think 2 decimal point. तो ये मेरे को स्ट्रिंग दे देगा उसका कन्वर्ट करके. और स्ट्रिंग को हम डिस्प्ले कर सकते हैं इन हियर ओनली एज टेक्स्ट. तो टेक्स्ट स्टाइल, फॉन्ट साइज, और रीलोड फेल्ड बिकॉज यहाँ पे कॉमा नहीं है. now you can see my BMI is calculated 23.45. Your normal weight. So anything below 25 and above 18.5 is normal. वो मतलब technically normal way too, but I should exercise all. So obviously I didn't share this container. Visibility के just पहले you people um, need to add this container, okay? और एक size box भी डाल देते हैं इसके बाद थोड़ा थोड़ा स्पेस बनाने के लिए just in case. Size box will give me 30 pixels. हाँ देखो shift हो गया. And I will share this code अभी तो टेस्ट कर लेना. अगर कोई कोड और भी चाहिए बता देना. 8 people are मीटिंग उनमें से 2 मैं हूँ. Okay guys, I've shared this code. हो गया तो raise your hands. अगर कुछ दिखाना है मुझे. Others is done. क्या बात है. Okay, so what did I edit? I had edited this if else statements. मैंने एक else ऐड किया था इनमें. मैंने else if में नॉर्मल वेट को यहाँ पे भी नॉर्मल है क्या ये यहाँ पे होना चाहिए you are under. So I forgot to change this. but ये if else भी ले लो. व्हाट्सएप पे भी करूँ कर देता हूँ. ओके देन. ऑन टैप. I've shared it on WhatsApp जिनको WhatsApp पे चाहिए. एंड आदर्श तुम्हारा हो गया. कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट योरसेल्फ. हो गया. ऐप बन गया है. थोड़ा और चेंजेस कर सकते हैं जैसे ये पूरा येलो है. मैं थोड़ा और कलर इशू मतलब कलर चेंज कर सकते हो तुम. और ये जो थोड़ा
भैया
टेक्स्ट
इसमें ये हाइट का वो क्या है मतलब
हाइट
बोला
मीटर्स में ले रहे यूनिट.
अच्छा
मीटर ये मीटर्स में 1.97 तो सेंटीमीटर में 197 सेंटीमीटर और
ओके
वेट किलोग्राम में. यूनिट मेरे को कहीं मेंशन करना चाहिए था बट ऐसा है. और तो व्हाट कैन वी डू. ये थोड़ा लेफ्ट पे लग रहा है मेरे को सेंटर में चाहिए. तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या करूँगा कंटेनर में टेक्स्ट अलाइन कुछ होता है क्या. नहीं 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 इधर नहीं होता. इधर नहीं होता टेक्स्ट फील्ड में होता है. इनसाइड टेक्स्ट फील्ड देयर इज अ प्रॉपर्टी टेक्स्ट अलाइन. तो एक और टेक्स्ट अलाइन विजेट के अंदर डॉट सेंटर करते हैं. डॉट सेंटर so that just centers this. And similarly text align oh, align नहीं है. center pretty much done. इसको थोड़ा और बेटर दिखा सकते हैं तो कलर चेंज करते हैं. so BMI कैलकुलेटर कलर को थोड़ा ब्लैक करते हैं. that's black. font weight थोड़ा बढ़ा देते हैं and font size बढ़ा देते हैं to 42 I guess. मैं कैलकुलेटर ये बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा है तो 32 कर. नाइस. कैलकुलेट इज टू स्मॉल. ऐसे ऐसे थोड़ा एडजस्ट करके थोड़ा बेटर दिखेगा. कैलकुलेट को भी मैं थोड़ा फॉन्ट साइज बढ़ा के 32 कर दो. ज़्यादा बड़ा लग रहा है. व्हाट अबाउट 28. नाइस. फॉन्ट कलर को मैं ब्लैक कर रहा हूँ. ब्लैक तो अभी थोड़ा अच्छा लग रहा है. थोड़ा थोड़ा और कलर्स है. ऐप looks like at least थोड़ा मतलब बेटर तो है ही। तो ये ऐप हो गया। जिनको थोड़ा डाउट है अभी बता दो, बिकॉज हम लोग थोड़े एडिट्स करके सेकंड ऐप बनाएंगे बस। हाँ हाँ बताओ।
वो BMI रिजल्ट डॉट टू स्ट्रिंग एज फिक्सड लिखा है ना, टू स्ट्रिंग
हाँ
एज
फिक्सेड।
फिक्सड,
हाँ
उसका मतलब क्या है?
सो टू स्ट्रिंग क्या करता है, अगर मैं सिर्फ टू स्ट्रिंग डालूं तो देखते हैं। टू स्ट्रिंग विल जस्ट कन्वर्ट द जो द थिंग वी हैव कैलकुलेटेड इज BMI रिजल्ट वेट डिवाइड बाय हाइट स्क्वायर। ओके, ये देखो कितने डेसिमल आते हैं। तो टू स्ट्रिंग as fixed, what it will do to enter the decimal place till I want to take the number.
राउंड
So
ऑफ
if
द
I,
टू डेसिमल।
so round off. So one pay you get one DP, two pay you get two DP. So that's why I took two.
भैया वो टेक्स्ट लाइन वाला एक बार स्टेटमेंट
हाँ
है।
मैं दिखाता हूँ मैंने क्या किया. Inside these containers, inside this row widget, you can see. So these are basically these two containers that are taking an input. उसमें टेक्स्ट फील्ड में देखना तो मैंने टेक्स्ट अलाइन डाला है कंट्रोलर के ऊपर, दिख रहा है ना इधर, टेक्स्ट अलाइन प्रॉपर्टी कोलन टेक्स्ट अलाइन डॉट सेंटर. Similarly, I've done with the weight one, just above controller. I have given text align dot center. So they have just made it like centered it in the particular sections. So this you are.
हाँ भाई।
और कोई डाउट है किसी को अभी बता दो, किसी को कोड चाहिए टेल मी राइट नाउ. द फर्स्ट ऐप इज डन. तुम इसको सेव कर सकते हो अभी.
भैया
हाँ
ये पूरा का पूरा कोड आप व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दीजिए, मैं सेव कर लूंगा इसे मेरे नोटपैड पे।
ठीक है अभी भेजता हूँ. एक काम करो, व्हाट्सएप छोड़ो, कोड जो तुमने लिखा है वो कॉपी कर लेना, क्लिपबोर्ड रख लेना, और फिर वील जस्ट ओपन अ न्यू फ्लटर प्रोजेक्ट. और ये थोड़ा बेटर होगा. दिस वुड बी अ वर्चुअल डाइस, लाइक वो डाइस गेम्स में खेलते, स्नेकर लैडर लूडो मोनोपोली. बट वर्चुअल डाइस ज़्यादा कन्वीनियंट होते हैं, गुम जाते हैं. You name this something like virtual dice. Um, Rest you can keep default. So same thing, ये Android खुल गया. I want to go into project. इसकी library folder में there will be main.dat file. इस पूरे फाइल की जगह मैं मेरा करंट कोड डाल दूंगा बस. जो पिछला प्रोजेक्ट था I have just copy pasted it because I make certain changes, only few changes to convert the BMI calculator to a virtual dice. तो first change क्या है? I will import a new package. I will import package called नहीं, it's called Dart Math. तो हम लोग Dart का मैथ लाइब्रेरी इंपोर्ट करेंगे. In that there is a random function that we will use to get the outcomes. And I think at the same time we should run this on our phone. We'll see as changes happen. Okay, so I should ask you guys कि तुम लोग रेडी हो? हम लोग थोड़े ही चेंजेस करेंगे. ये पूरा खुल गया है. एंड ओके देन मेरा बस ये ग्रेडल टास्क हो रहा है अभी. सो द फर्स्ट चेंज, पहले तो BMI कैलकुलेटर को रीनेम कर देते हैं वर्चुअल डाइस. वर्चुअल डाइस मैंने खुद से कोड किया था, ट्यूटोरियल से नहीं है ये. तो बट ऐसे है और भी, आई गेस थोड़े डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टाइप के डाइस वाले, बट मेरा थोड़ा कस्टमाइजेबल है इसलिए बेटर है थोड़ा। तो अपडेट हो गया, और होम स्क्रीन स्टेटफुल, इधर भी नाम चेंज कर देता हूँ, BMI कैलकुलेटर इधर दिखता है, वर्चुअल डाइस नाम करना। So now this is a virtual dice named app, and what we can change, ये हाइट जो लिखा है, ये हाइट हटाओ, इसको बनाओ फेसेस। डाइस के पास फेसेस होते हैं, लाइक एक क्यूब डाइस के पास 6 फेस होते हैं। ऐसे बहुत सारे टाइप के डाइस भी होंगे, 12 फेस, 16 फेस। तो ऐसा ऑप्शन डाला है फेसेस, इन विच यू कैन एंटर द नंबर ऑफ फेसेस ऑफ each die. The second one would be dice, basically the number of dice, मल्टीपल डाइस होते रहे, जैसे 2 डाइस के साथ गेम खेलते हैं नॉर्मली हम लोग। तो उस केस में क्या करें, उस केस में हम लोग, वाइट कलर अच्छा लग रहा है उनको, आई वुड लाइक टू दिस वाइट ओनली, ये तो अच्छा नहीं लग रहा। ओके, सो वी विल टेक द नंबर ऑफ डाइस ऑल्सो एज एन इनपुट। तो ये दोनों चेंजेस हो गए। अब ये कैलकुलेट को हम लोग थोड़ा रोल डाइस कर देते हैं इसको, रोल बोलते हैं, ROLL, वी आर रोलिंग द डाइस। नाइस। एंड क्या करना है अपन को, पहले तो ऊपर जाओ, और ये जो डबल है, ये BMI रिजल्ट सब थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा। नहीं, हाइट कंट्रोलर टेक्निकली हाइट नहीं कंट्रोल कर रहा, फेस कंट्रोल कर रहा है। सॉरी माइक, कुछ हो गया था इश्यू, तो बड़ा भी ठीक है। BMI मैं बस इसको डबल कर दिया है, ये टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट रहने दो, मैंने देता है। हाँ, इसकी ज़रूरत भी नहीं है एक्चुअली। और ये फेस कंट्रोलर, और ये जो वेट रोलर अभी वाइस कंट्रोलर हो गया, ये रीनेम हो गया, तो जहाँ पे एरर आ जाएंगे, बट हम लोग चेंज करेंगे तो नो इश्यूज। सो हाइट कंट्रोलर वाज फेस कंट्रोलर, यस, नॉट कंट्रोलर। ओके देन, वेट कंट्रोलर, साइज कंट्रोलर, height controller was face controller, weight controller was face controller। here my result is no more, ये जो भी है सेट स्टेट में तुम थोड़ा हटा सकते हो अभी के लिए, because it's should be empty। ये हाइट की जगह फेस, वेट की जगह डाइस। there's one more error somewhere, BMI result string, क्या करूँ इसका, इसको हटा देते हैं, सोचता हूँ थोड़ा, एक सेकेंड। BMI result to string, we don't need this technically, also ये भी हटाओ, टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट ही इनफ है अपने के लिए, अपने लिए। और कमिंग, अब नाउ विल सी अपडेट। ओके सो गाइस, अगर तुमने चेंजेस कर लिए मेरे को बताओ, अगर कुछ चाहिए इन्फो अभी बता दो, मैं बता दूंगा। अभी हमें क्या करना है, हमें बेसिकली सेट स्टेट में कुछ करना है, बस लॉजिक प्रोग्राम करना है डाइस का. So maybe I should watch the comments. I'll wait for about 1 minute. देखते हैं फिर किसी को कोई इशू है जो भी चेंजेस किया उसके बारे में.
भैया मेरा लैपटॉप स्विच ऑफ हो चुका है, लाइट नहीं आ रही है अभी।
तुम आदर्श हो क्या?
नहीं अतुल।
अतुल हो, ओके.
तो आप ये
ठीक है.
कोड शेयर कर देना व्हाट्सएप पे, ये मैं कल ट्राई कर लूंगा।
हाँ हाँ, मैं कर दूंगा शेयर, डोंट वरी. अभी अभी तो ठीक है, आई गेस सब लोग ऑन, सब मतलब जो भी कर रहे हैं अप टू डेट है. हाँ ठीक है. सो अभी सेट स्टेट में लॉजिक लिखेंगे. सेट स्टेट का क्या करता है बेसिकली, मैंने बोला जब हम वेरिएबल की वैल्यू को चेंज करके डिस्प्ले पे भी चेंज करना चाहते हैं तो ये सेट स्टेट फंक्शन मेंशन करना पड़ता है. तो स्टेट फिर अपडेट कर देता है पूरा यूआई के वेरिएबल्स का. तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि 24/7 हर फ्रेम पे अपडेट नहीं होते, तुम्हें ये कॉल करके वैल्यू अपडेट करनी पड़ती है. बट वेरिएबल की वैल्यू तो चेंज जो मिल गई है एंटर करने के बाद एफ एंड बी. बी एफ में क्या है, ये डबल है, मेरे को डबल नहीं चाहिए, चाहिए इंट. ठीक है, हम लोग इंट ले रहे हैं. ये होगा, इंट पार्स नहीं है या फिर कुछ तो होना चाहिए इंट का. अच्छा ये डबल है इसलिए सॉरी, इंट है पर. So now we are storing the integers for faces and number of dice. So suppose suppose कि मैंने एक डाइस मैं के लिए मैं रोल कर रहा हूँ, तो मुझे सिर्फ एक ही डाइस का आउटपुट मुझे दिखाना है ना. तो वो कैसे दिखाऊंगा कि ये मतलब कलेक्टिवली भी कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. फॉर ही लिख देते हैं, फॉर लूप या मल्टीपल डाइस सपोर्ट करने के लिए. सो ऐसे कर देता हूँ मैं कि इफ द underscore underscore d represents the number of dice is greater than 0 and ampersand. अब and एक और कंडीशन, underscore d is less than equal to सपोज 20 मेरे को लिमिट चाहिए, 20 से ज़्यादा डाइस मुझे डिस्प्ले नहीं करना है एट द मोमेंट. तो इफ कंडीशन में एक फॉर लूप लगाऊंगा. तो फॉर लूप्स देखे थे डार्ट में फर्स्ट सेशन में. सो आई लेस देन जो भी नंबर ऑफ डाइस है आई प्लस प्लस, ये हो गया फॉर लूप. मेरे को करना क्या है, मेरे को स्ट्रिंग अपडेट करनी है. कौन सा, टेक्स्ट वाला. टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट प्लस इक्वल्स जो भी मेरा है. अच्छा रैंडम नंबर चाहिए ना. तो रैंडम नंबर्स कैसे मिलते हैं, रैंडम फंक्शन है, रैंडम ओ एम फंक्शन, बस ऐसे फंक्शन डॉट कुछ होगा नेक्स्ट इंट रैंडम राउंड ब्रैकेट्स नेक्स्ट इंट. मैक्स में मैं क्या डालूँ, मैक्स में मैं डालता हूँ अंडर स्कोर नंबर ऑफ फेसेस. ये क्या देगा, सपोज मेरे पास 6 फेस का डाई है, तो दिस विल रिटर्न मी एन इंटीजर नंबर विद इन द रेंज 0 to 5. मेरे को 1 to 6 चाहिए, तो मैं एक +1 कर देगा जस्ट पहले. बट टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट इज अ स्ट्रिंग वेरिएबल, तो मतलब इंटीजर अभी कैलकुलेट हुआ, टू स्ट्रिंग करना पड़ेगा. हाँ ये कॉन्कैट हो जाएगा टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट के साथ. एंड we should reinitialize text result. ये क्या हो रहा है? तो text result को empty string रखना है पहले हमेशा, ये याद रखना है, वरना वो इंक्रीमेंट होते जाता है जब जब तक चेंजेस करते रहो। ओके देन अभी देखते हैं, थोड़ा तो लॉजिक लिख दिया है ना, देखते चलता है नहीं। नंबर ऑफ फेसेस 6 डाल दिया मैंने, नंबर ऑफ डाइस 1 डाल दिया, देखते रोल होता है नहीं, वही नहीं रहा। मे बी मेरे को हॉट
एक
रीलोड करना है।
एक एरर आ रहा है भैया
अभी
आपके में।
एक क्वेश्चन।
ओ मेरे को एरर आ रहा है, दिख रही नहीं। ओह सेमीकोलन भूल गया। ओके सेमीकोलन भूल गया था जस्ट। ओके ओके हॉट रीलोड होने दो, हो गया हॉट रीलोड। ओके ये भी हो गया रीलोड। 6 फेसेस 1 डाइस 4, ये देखो चल रहा है, नाइस। सो हमने डाइस की लिमिट डाली थी ना, ग्रेटर देन 0 लेस देन 20। हाँ, तो 20 मैक्स जाता है, देखते कितने का आता है। अरे अरे ये तो साथ में आ रहा है ये नहीं चाहिए। क्या करेंगे हम लोग, एक स्पेस डाल देंगे बस, ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर देगा। ओके तो ऐसा दिख रहा है। आई मीन ठीक है, बट लेफ्ट अलाइन मेरे को उतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा। मैं क्या करूँगा, ये विजिबिलिटी में मैं डिस्प्ले कर रहा हूँ ना, टेक्स्ट के अंदर जो क्या कर सकते हैं, एक टेक्स्ट अलाइन प्रॉपर्टी होती है, तो मैं टेक्स्ट अलाइन सेंटर कर दूंगा। अभी देखा सेंटर हो गया, बेटर लग रहा है एटलीस्ट पहले से। ओके तो ये हो गया। अभी हम लोग और भी फेस के डाइस आ सकते हैं, और तुम देखो कि डिफरेंट डिफरेंट नंबर आ रहे हैं। थोड़ा और बेटर करते हैं इससे, इसमें और भी कंडीशन होंगे जो हम लोग ने। ये क्या हो रहा है, एल्स तो ऑटो कंप्लीट हो गया। एल्स कुछ इशू है क्या, यहाँ पे एरर आ रहा है, फॉर लूप है और उसके ऊपर इफ। अच्छा मैं इफ के अंदर एल्स लिख रहा हूँ इसलिए इशू है, एल्स इधर होगा। मेरे को राउंड ब्रैकेट डालने चाहिए। हाँ सो एल्स में क्या करूँ, मेरे को कुछ तो मैसेज देना है, मतलब पता ही नहीं चलेगा फिर। मैं बोल देता हूँ एरर एरर। तो जब मैं अभी 21 इनपुट करूँ तो मेरे को एरर डिस्प्ले करना चाहिए। जब मैं 0 इनपुट करूँ नंबर ऑफ डाइस में, मुझे एरर डिस्प्ले होगा। सो बट अगर कुछ विद इन रेंज है तो मेरे को आ जाएगा वैल्यू। तो एटलीस्ट ये डाइस डिस्प्ले होता है, इसको थोड़ा कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं टू आवर इंटरेस्ट। सो इसके अंदर एक और इफ कंडीशन डालते हैं, तो इफ कंडीशन इफ the number of dice in if the faces number of faces, so बोले ऐसा डाइस दो फेस हो, तो हम लोग हेड और टेल्स बोल सकते हैं उससे बेसिकली। तो उसको हेड और टेल्स डिस्प्ले कर देंगे, और ऐसे। और ये बाकी बाकी को एल्स इफ में आपको मेंशन करना होगा फेसेस ग्रेटर देन 2। ये फॉर लूप में होपफुली फिट हो जाए। खुद से डाल दिया क्या, मैं कंफ्यूज हो रहा हूँ। खुद से डाल दिया, अच्छी बात है। अलाइन करने दो। ओके तो अगर 2 है, सो आई कैन से हेड्स और टेल्स। तो कंडीशन क्या होगा, एक और इफ डाल दो, और रैंडम डॉट नेक्स्ट इंट कर देते हैं। और नंबर 2 दे दो। ये जब 1 है तो रैंडम नेक्स्ट इंट 2 क्या करेगा, इट विल रिटर्न मी अ नंबर इधर 0 और 1। तो अगर 1 है तो वी कैन से to be text result, say it is heads, and else to be text result, say it is tails. ओके, बट टेस्ट कर देते हैं। मैं 2 डाल दिया, रोल कर दो टेल्स, 3 बार टेल्स, 4 बार ओ हेड्स। हाँ ऐसे ऐसे होता रहेगा। तुम लोग को कोड चाहिए क्या? अभी शेयर कर देता हूँ।
व्हाट्सएप पे कर देना भैया।
ओके, किधर चेंजेस, ये यहाँ पे थोड़ा स्पेस ज़्यादा है, इसको कम करो थोड़ा। ओ इधर आ गया देखा ही नहीं। ये क्या है? तो ये क्या है? ओके डन। सिर्फ किधर है? ग्रेटर देन 2, ये तो एंड हो गया। गलत जगह आ गया। इट्स फाइन। और अब थोड़ा ऐड कर देते हैं। यहाँ पे एल्स है बट एल्स नहीं है। Okay, को बताना है कि एरर है। तो तुमने फेसेस को रिजल्ट नेगेटिव इनपुट ले लिया। ग्रेटर देन, इसको इस पे भी लिमिट डाल देता हूँ। दिस इज ग्रेटर देन 2, फेसेस शुड बी लेस देन इक्वल टू सपोज 1000। 1000 से ज़्यादा फेस टाइम नहीं चाहिए। टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट फेसेस एरर, छोड़ा एरर होगा डाइस एरर। ओके, थोड़ा अभी और आइडिया देगा अभी। सपोज आई हैव एंटर्ड 1 फेस, आई गेट फेसेस एरर। ये 2 से ज़्यादा होनी चाहिए। आई एंटर 1000 फेसेस, मैक्सिमम लिमिट क्या थी? 20 और 1000। वैसे मेरे को देगा मेरे को आउटपुट। वैसा टेक्स्ट साइज भी बढ़ा देते हैं जो डिस्प्ले हो रहा है। टेक्स्ट अलाइंस एंटर टेक्स्ट रिजल्ट 42, ये बेटर लग रहा है। और बढ़ा देता हूँ, और बेटर लग रहा है। तो ये काफ़ी अच्छा लग रहा है अभी। तो ये तो मैक्सिमम लिमिट है। और अगर तुम इधर गड़बड़ कर लो, अभी बोले क्या बोल दिया? ऐसे अभी ऐप हो गया। आई विल शेयर यू द कोड। 2 मिनट रुकना, किधर अपडेट किया मैंने? ओके,
भैया पूरा ही भेज दो।
पूरा भेज दूँ?
यस।
ज़रा ज़रा रुको, ये मेरा गिटहब है। इधर मैंने जस्ट स्टार्ट के पहले अपलोड किया था, हाँ 4 आवर्स अगो। फ्लटर वर्चुअल डाइस ऐप, काफ़ी टाइम हो गया देखा ही नहीं, कुछ ज़्यादा टाइम हो गया। इसमें लिब में जाओ, फंक्शन स्क्रीन्स मेन डॉट डार्ट। हाँ, ये थोड़ा डिफरेंट है। इसमें मैंने क्या किया था, मैंने जो मेरा होम स्टेट वाला स्टेटफुल विजेट है उसको मैंने एक सेपरेट डार्ट फाइल में डाला था। बट वो इशू देता है कि वो डार्ट पैड पे कंपैटिबल नहीं होता। तो फिर मेरे को, मैं अभी जो किया मेरे को एक ही डार्ट, हाँ ये कोड एग्जैक्टली वो नहीं है, मैं करंट वाला शेयर कर देता हूँ, वो बेटर होगा। मेरा ग्रुप है, फ्लटर का ग्रुप है, तो इसका नाम डाल देता हूँ, फ्लटर वर्चुअल डेस्क। डाल दिया, एक बार चेक करके बताओ। और मैं
आ गया भैया।
रन करके बताओ, कॉपी पेस्ट कर लो, क्योंकि व्हाट्सएप क्या करता है, कुछ कैरेक्टर्स को शायद इशू हो जाती है। तब तक डार्ट पैड पे मैं टेस्ट करता हूँ रन करते हुए। तुम लोग अभी कितने बच्चे, 4 लोग हैं। आदर्श हो गया तुम्हारा? आदर्श, आर यू अप टू डेट? और बाकी लोग, अतुल तुम्हारा लैपटॉप वो हो गया था तो तुम्हें कोड भेजा है। अनन्या, लाइक यू आर स्टक टू द एंड, मतलब व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन?
Almost done.
Almost done. Do you need any code? I have pasted it in WhatsApp. So,
Yeah, I'll see that.
or
Mostly
Jay,
I'm done.
Jay
Just
bhi
कुछ
hai.
समझा.
Jay, you are recording. Thank you. Can end the recording. If you are here. Sorry, इतना टाइम रुकाने के लिए। आई थिंक AFK है वो, पर ठीक है, उसको कोई कॉल करके बोल दे कि रिकॉर्डिंग एंड कर दो, क्योंकि काफी ज्यादा टाइम हो गया। ओके गाइस, फिर तुम लोग को आई गेस ऐप तो मिल गए। अभी तुम हाँ, बहुत हाँ मेरे को कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इनिशियली 20 से ज़्यादा लोग थे, अभी 4 लोग